Hey ladies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me and clicking on today's video. So today is going to be very casual. I know I've been MIA for a little bit and I've just been spending some time in prayer and really honing in on what it is that the Lord wants to do through me, for me, by me, all of those things in this new season. But I had a dream last night, and I dream often, so this is nothing new, but when I woke up it was still very vivid, and so I began to record the dream. And as I was just praying through it and processing through some of the imagery and symbolism and the emotions and all those things that were coming out of the dream, I really truly felt like it was something to share with single women, to share with also married women, and to just allow it to be an encouragement. So I'm going to jump right into it. In this dream, the part that I remembered, at least, where it picks up is I was working in like a small village, think Hallmark movie, kind of small town vibe, you know, environment. And so I was working in like a mom and pop store for a bridal retail. Nothing strange there. I used to own a bridal boutique and work in bridal industry. It's like one of my passions. I love the work that I do there. So I am pretty good at it, actually. And I was in this dream and my boss started to just berate me. Started saying, Crystal, you know, I hired you because you said that you were good, and I've asked you to do this, and I want you to do this, and why isn't this done? And so my boss was just kind of really digging into me, and it began to make me feel horrible. And I was like, I guess I'm not good enough. Like, I guess I don't do this job well. I guess I should just hang it up and I should just quit. And so the boss continued to say, I asked you for this and you haven't shown that like you're worth it, and I just can't even believe that I hired you. And so she would take me from different spaces in the bridal in the bridal salon, and she would say, look at this, that's not what I needed to be done. I needed it to be done like this. And then she took me like behind the checkout counter and she was like, you know, look at this, here's the example right here, and I want you to do this and I want you to do that. And so I began to say to her, like, you never taught me these things. You never said that this was an expectation. You never said that this is exactly how you wanted it to be done. I've never seen this book or this manual. Why are you treating me so badly? And so then the dream starts to morph. And so upon me leaving my boss in that bridal salon, I just became so hard and so down on myself. And so somehow I ended up seeking out, like, or not even seeking out, but she had me to like make deliveries, and like she said, here, just do this, just take this to the village, just take this to the town or whatever. And so in my obedience to take the message or the item to the person it was designated for, I found like a safe haven. And so here was the very beautiful part of this thing. So I was broken, I was beaten up, I was torn down, I was just down and out, like lowest of the low. And so when I made a delivery to one person, it was an older married woman who I've actually seen before, and she started to just pour into me and just encourage me, like, you can do this, don't worry about it, like, you're doing a fine job, it's not going to be like this always, right? And so then I made another delivery to a woman, and this woman I've also seen before, who's an older married woman, and she said, she told me to lie down and that she was going to give me a massage because she could see everything that I had been through, and she could see how it was just so hard and all of those things. And so she started to massage me, and as she was massaging me, she was just speaking over me, speaking scriptures over me. And it was so keen because this is the moment where the dream shifted. She started to speak over me and to tell me about me being a good wife and all of the things to do in order to be a good wife. And just to kind of, I don't want to paint the picture that like there's a cookie cutter way or anything like that, but she started to share with me the strength that I had within myself to be a good wife. And when she got done saying that, she said, now, are there any more areas that you want a massage on? Any more like kinks or anything that needs to be kind of, dealt with? And at first in my dream, I was like, no, I'm not going to tell her, like, I didn't come here for this. She doesn't have to know that all these areas are hurting and blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm just going to somehow I was on a massage table. I'm just going to, get up and leave. Thank her for her time. She's already done too much, blah, 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 blah. And so I didn't do that. I ended up saying, yeah, my shoulder, right here hurts. And so she started to massage and started to dig deeper. And then she just kept like professing blessings and affirmations over me. And so as she was digging deeper, the setting of the dream then shifted. This is the kicker, y'all. It shifted to almost a big, remember, small town, Hallmarkish movie kind of vibes, right? So it shifted to like this community celebration, this community event. And in this event, I witnessed, let me just say it. In this event, I witnessed 3 weddings. 3 marriage covenants take place right in front of my eyes. The day did not change. The date did not change. The setting did not change. So it was like, if you've ever seen mass baptisms happen before, where like one person gets dunked and then people celebrate and rejoice, and then another person gets dunked and people celebrate and rejoice. That was the exact kind of feel and images that I was seeing in my dream. And it was so special because every couple that came together had their own moment, right? It wasn't like, I now pronounce all of you husband and wife, go ahead, kiss your bride, bam, we're done. It wasn't like rushed. It wasn't trying to do anything massively, right? But every couple had their moment. Every couple had their ceremony. And then when one couple got married and pronounced, husband and wife, the entire community went up in celebration and dancing and praise and rejoicing and cutting cake and like, having a party, what we do at weddings. And then another couple would be pronounced man and wife, and then we started celebrating and partying and having a good time again. And then another couple was pronounced man and wife. We started celebrating, having a great time. So there were 3 couples that got married on the same day in the same event. And it was just like, if someone hadn't stopped it, it was like it would have kept going. And so I noticed a couple of things in this dream too, was that it wasn't like how we see weddings today, or the pressure that we face in weddings. Now, I'm not talking about marriages, but in wedding planning today, to have to, get your showstopper dress, to have the best food, the best flowers, the best DJ, the best this, the best that. It wasn't full of self, right? It wasn't like, oh, let's put on a show or let's make a big spectacle, right? I remember I was dancing and partying, and I saw one of the brides out of my eye, and I was like, she looks beautiful today. And she just had on a basic white dress. Like, you almost would not have known that it was the bride, because it was just people having a good time. And so I said in my Facebook post earlier that this really was about community. It was about love. It was about celebrating unity and celebrating 2 becoming 1. It was even about celebrating like the purpose of a covenant marriage, right? And the covering and safety that is embedded within that, and even the community that's embedded within that. So I was floored, to say the least. And all day I've just been kind of with the Lord, like, okay, Jesus, like, I know that there are so many more levels to that dream. But one of the things that the Lord really highlighted for me in the dream was that the older women were in position to minister to the younger women, to minister to the young bride. So I've already been married, right? And I'm a young bride. Like, I just got married like yesterday, y'all, 6 months ago or something like that, right? But like, the older women that came to minister to me were also at the wedding ministering to the other younger brides that were getting married in this repetition. And so it reminded me of Titus 2. And I cannot divulge all of it because it's not ready yet, but I'm working on something called the Titus 2, I bit my tongue, sorry, the Titus 2 project. And so I want to read for you Titus 2, Titus chapter 2. It picks up at like the 3rd verse, but I'm just going to kind of read a little bit so that you have some context. From the Amplified Version, it says, "But as for you, teach the things which are in agreement with sound doctrine, which produces men and women of good character, whose lifestyle identifies them as true Christians. Older men are to be temperate, dignified, sensible, sound in faith, and love and steadfastness. They are to be Christ-like in character." Here's our verse 3. "Older women, similarly, are to be reverent in their behavior, not malicious gossips, nor addicted to too much wine, teaching what is right and good, so that they may encourage the young women to tenderly love their husbands and their children, for the young women to be sensible, pure, makers of a home where God is honored, good-natured, being subject to their own husbands, so that the word of God will not be dishonored." And then it goes on to talk about what the older men should be teaching the younger men. So I'm working on this Titus 2 project because one of the revelations that God, or I won't even call it a revelation, but just an encouragement that the Lord gave me for you all today, is to make sure that you use this season to seek and cultivate sound wisdom. Sound wisdom, especially as it relates to your dating life, especially as it relates to your marriage life. I'm already excited about the multiple wedding ceremonies and marriages. There have been several prophets of the Lord that have prophesied this for 2022 and for this season. And so I instantly came in agreement with that word. That's not the bulk of what God showed me. That's not my ministry, okay? I believe it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna celebrate with y'all when y'all do get married. But what the Lord showed me is to create a space where we are actually preparing biblically, right? Not knocking any other system or any other way to do things, but there's something to be said when you as a new person walk, or amateur, walk a journey with the person who's been through the fire, with the person who has the experience, with the person that has the wisdom. And so the encouragement that God gave me is for you to consecrate, and for you also to celebrate, right? There are going to be several weddings that pop up this season. It might be hard to celebrate because some people just waking up and deciding to get married, y'all. Now, yes, they've been courting and prayerful and all those things. I'm not saying, pick a dude off the street, right? But as far as like the quickness of marriage ceremonies, like, don't be offended if you don't get invited to somebody's wedding. It wasn't about you, right? Don't be offended, but you still have the opportunity to celebrate them, even if you cannot come to their wedding. As a matter of fact, statistics are saying now the trends in the wedding industry predict that there will be more weddings in 2022 than there ever has been before. A lot of that is due to the pandemic, regulations and stipulations lifting from COVID-19, thank God. And then I just believe that this is the will of the Lord. So you may not have time. You may not get an invitation to somebody's wedding, but celebrate them. Send them a card. Send them a gift, right? Send them encouragement. But the other part, so there's the celebration part, and then there's the consecration part. And so the Lord had me to share earlier today, you need to find yourself a Naomi. You need to be, when I say find, that means you can pray about it, you can ask around, but definitely be prayerful about it. Find yourself a Naomi. Find the older woman in your life that you give ear to. We have an issue with that in our generation. I'm just going to keep it real with you all. Sometimes we don't want to hear. Sometimes we think we know it all. Sometimes we think their ways are antiquated or old-fashioned. You better get rid of that this season. Find a seasoned woman of God full of the Holy Ghost. All right? A woman of God that believes in marriage, a woman of God that believes in submission, that believes in men, that believes, right? Find that woman to be your Naomi in this season and take heed to the instruction that she will share with you. So I'm not going to share all of it, but that's my dream. If you're believing God for a kingdom marriage, a kingdom spouse, a man of God, if you are believing God for that, y'all, I'm telling you, this is getting ready to be wild, and we've already seen it happen. We've already seen it take place. So I want to encourage you that God has not forgotten about you. He is not slack concerning his promise. As a matter of fact, in Luke chapter 1, verse 45, it says, "Then blessed is she that believed that the Lord would fulfill every promise that was spoken to her." All right, y'all got to believe. You got to believe. All right. So I'm excited for what the Lord is going to do. I just wanted to pop on here real quick and share that dream with you all. I pray it is encouraging to you. Let me put this out here. If you are an older, married, spirit-filled woman, I want you to reach out to me, because there is a big project that the Lord is giving me vision for, and I'm going to need some help for it. And if you are single and waiting on your God-given husband, spouse, relationship, I want to know from you, would you, I'm just going to throw it out here in faith, right? Would you be interested in being a part of a community, or taking like a class, or like, coming together weekly, monthly, to really have conversations around preparation for marriage? I'm not talking about none of this, none of this cute stuff, or none of this easy stuff. I'm talking about true preparation. Like, what happens when you resent your husband? What happens when, all the chips are stacked up against you in your marriage? What happens, right? What happens when, let me know. Let me know, because I gotta save it for a safe space. That's what I feel the Lord saying, that it has to be in a safe space. And so everything is not going to be on YouTube coming out of Kairos Crystal, because there is some wisdom, some sound instruction. There's even some correction that some of us need to hear. And so I'm excited about it. And if you are interested in participating in something like that, let me know. All right, y'all. See you later. See you next time. Mwah.